Good evening, my fellow followers. I hope all is well. All is well. I'm out moonbathing as always with my jazz music this time tonight. I wanted to talk about manifesting your reality by clearing out the garbage you have in your closet. You're unable to um, you're unable to manifest what you want in reality. In this reality, when your closet is full, when your space is full, when you have things that no longer serve you in your journey. Yes, love and abundance. Thank you. So I have a poem that I wanted to read from my poem book. Because I've self-published a book called Affairs of the Heart. You can buy it on Lulu.com. Please help and support. It's called Affairs of the Heart. It's a book of poetry, all that good stuff. I think that it would definitely be beneficial for a lot of those who love poetry and, just to let you know out there that you're not alone. A lot of the things that I have in my poetry book, I have written over the years, over a 10-year span. And I just now decided in August, I decided to publish my first book, self-published. So before I get started about the topic, I wanted to read one of my poems, and it's called Insecurities. I have it on my tablet. Let me turn down my jazz music, y'all. So the title of this poem, again, is like I said, it's called Insecurities. After I talk about, do my poem, I'm going to go into talking about different things that need to be getting rid of, that you have to get rid of before you can accurately manifest positivity into your life. So, insecurities. Peace and love, Timothy. Insecurities. Slithering in the temple of my domain, crawling in the pits of my pure selfishness, wandering in the mud of my own disgust, inhaling in the dirt of my uncanny filth. For these wounds I cannot heal, for time seems forever still. For these scars are the marks of my battered wrongdoings. For these tears I cannot judge sorrow inadvertently. For these bruises are swollen glands of my shortcomings. The confusion is surreal, the fear contemplates the feel. Dissolving the last of what is real, the bondage has enslaved my will. The conception of my construction is the weave in which I tangled, while the misconception of the misdemeanor at fault is the upholstery that keeps me steady and always ill. I've felt this way before, inflicted pain that I had no choice but to endure. I was lost in second-guessing all, a mental block that proved I was insecure. Beneath the surface of my identity, beneath the realm of what you and I see, the torture I led myself to believe in some way shapes and molds me, realizing my own objectivity and personality. Deep in the underlining of my visual preference and propensity lies the depraved, bureaucratic, frivolous, and justifiable insecurities, which have made me entrust in the authenticity of what most seldom see. My insecurities are the pendulum to my productivity, the stress that divides my passionate talents and genius, you see. When torn between two elements of a factor, note, diligence and persistence is the power to counteract the factoid of a factor. So I let the faint-hearted hate on my insecurities. Without them, I would have lived life sophomorically. With that being said, I govern and become the wiser me, thanks to my insecurities. I wanted to start my video with that poem because as I was doing readings today, I noticed that a lot of what the problem is for the majority of people out in the world is the fact of their insecurities, letting their insecurities get in the way and block what they really want to manifest. So when greetings, everyone who's just now coming in. So when you're blocking your own, you have your conscious state of mind and you have your unconscious state of mind. Your unconscious is that shadow work, the unseen manifestations that you're bringing forth into the world. If you're stuck into the negatives of your reality, you create that negative space in your reality. When you're taking in and didn't take out like that love of self, if you have not gathered what true love of self is, which means to love your insecurities, you love your darknesses, you love everything that makes you you. Everything that you say you dislike about yourself, you need to love that part of yourself that much more in order to manifest the perfection of your reality that you want to create. Perfection, if anybody notice, is a word that has no sustenance. Perfection is something that you create within yourself by your own imperfections. Hi, Johnny. So, by gathering that information about yourself and loving these things about yourself, you can strengthen yourself. What people don't realize is that 9 times out of 10, a lot of your strengths you overcompensate for. And your strengths can become your weaknesses just as much as your weaknesses can become your strength. Once you figured out what your weaknesses are and you've acknowledged what your weaknesses are, you are that much more. Yes, thank you. Once you acknowledge what your weaknesses are, you are that much more apt to strengthening those weaknesses. And that is what makes you that much more stronger and steady and stern and grounded into what your next steps need to be. I know for myself, there's things that I've gone through and went through, and it would just make me anxious, make me nervous, cause stress. My hair fell out, things like that, and I had to get to a point where I had to love everything about me. I was taking in other people's consciousness. Other people was telling me, I'm not doing this, so that's how I felt. I'm not doing this, I'm not taking care of that. I was being a people pleaser. I was trying to please others to try to validate who I am. That doesn't work in the real world. In real, true reality, that does not work. You can't care about what somebody else has to say about you and expect to be able to manifest what you want to manifest, because your conscious mind or that subconscious mind of hearing everybody else's words about you, you've now made that who you are. If somebody's telling you that you ain't no good and that's truly how you feel and you haven't dealt with the demons in yourself, you have now manifested that energy for yourself, because you didn't get rid of what no longer served you. So by getting rid of things and people and places and thoughts, this world is nothing but perception. Thoughts. Thoughts is what create everything in this society. A lot of your thoughts are being provoked and manipulated through symbols by media, by music, by good reasoning, my sis. Yes, thank you. By music, all of these things, colors, words, numbers, stars, all of these things dictate and create your perception. So that only tells me that from your manifestation standpoint, if you change your thoughts and perception of how you see life, then that's when better things come forth to you. By the time I had figured out who I was, I already became who I am. Exactly. A lot of the times, who we try to portray to other people, we are not only acting for others, we have found a way to act for ourselves. We can't figure out who we are on the depth of self. Good night, Carl. We can't figure out the depth of who we are ourselves to deal with things in order to manifest. So we're manifesting all this negativity. Example of what I'm saying is like you could take different political standpoints. When Trump came into presidency, and that negative fear feeling that the entire you know, the world at that time period of those who didn't support Trump. That energy and that fear that has gone, across, different factions of people about his presidency or whatever it may be, has now became the manifestation of what the entire world has brought into focus now. So it's now like this fear factor. People are manifesting pain, more sorrow, more fear because of that collective of energy. However, if you get rid of and you cancel out that negativity and you overcast it with positiveness, a certain type of love and understanding, everything in this world happens for a reason. By understanding that key concept, you can create a positive manifestation. So you're able to create now with clearer sight how to gain that money, those finances, that job that you wanted, that love that you wanted, by focusing more on the positives in yourself and loving every aspect that you think is a negative side to it. There's something in this book called The 7 Keys of Wisdom that my Rose gifted to me. This is the book right here. In here, there's a paragraph or two that I want to read out of here. And it says that, let's see, talking about the mind in a different spectrum of Kabbalah. And it was saying how the mind, as well as metals and elements, may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. In order to put mental or alchemy transmutation into practice, it is first necessary to learn to change the polarity of our own minds, as otherwise we will not be able to influence our environment. By changing the polarity of your mind state from negative to positive, shifting your subconsciousness to the forefront and knocking down things that serve you no purpose, you're able to clearly bring forth things that you can actually benefit from. People say when I'm doing readings and everything, and they have all this self-doubt and they're looking for a confirmation. When you're looking for confirmation out of self, to the point where the main thing is once people become conscious of self, you must also learn how to establish morals. Yes, that's also right. That's right, Blackwell. That's what some people don't know how to do, is how to sustain those morals and principles and actually living up to that ethic, to be able to balance out your polarities. Everything is mental. Everything is mental. So in order to manifest these things that you actually want, you have to be conscious enough to control your subconscious thoughts and your shadow work. Like I said, loving your insecurities, loving everything about yourself, becoming more of who you are regardless of what anybody else tells you. Speaking on behalf of things that you truly feel you stick with. Not with arrogance, cockiness, but with humbleness, that eagerness to learn, to accept others. You have to think on all of those spectrums. You can't be selfish and not take in other realms of identities and polarities from other consciousnesses of people. Karma, or that thought process, is only going to bring to you negativity that serves you no purpose. Another part in this book, it says, all processes of transmutation, whether it is an attempt to change our internal world or the material world, is always a mental operation. Everything in this reality or this world is mental. Just like I like to go back and talk about, like, racism. If you think racism exists, then we create that thought process and we create that world that we live in. Racism occurs and racism exists. If you think that there's a difference between you and somebody else, then you're causing that difference. If you think that, if you have that doubt in self where you don't want to take a certain role to gain that financial success, you're not going to get that financial success. If you have insecurities in yourself, but you're looking to gain that love from someone else when it comes to a relationship with someone, but you don't even love yourself enough to put that energy out there in the open to gain that type of energy back, then you're going to get exactly what you manifested. If you are insecure, you're going to unconsciously create that being in your cipher. That insecure person is going to find you. Then you have the blind leading the blind. Insecurities leading insecurities. That's what you manifested in your realm. Once you get to that point of understanding who you are on a deeper level and truly loving yourself, then you will get someone who will love you because you love you. That works all across the board, relationship-wise, finances, seeing how life is being portrayed. Things in life today are not as they seem. Things today are not as evil and cutthroat that we have made it seem. The only reason why it seems that way is because we have people manipulating and messing over our psyches. Oh, thank you, Sally. Love you. Thank you, Velvia. I hope I'm saying your names right. So, yes, by doing that and understanding that, we become more conscious. Hello, Donna. Another thing that I wanted to point out is the next part of what I was saying. For your mental operation, as all is mind. It is very interesting for the student to be able not only to change this in their own mental state, but you're also able to change the minds of other people who are suffering from negative and destructive vibrations of any kind. That's what I learned about myself. I've learned from my own self-destruction that I was able to heal once I understood what was blocking me from getting to that next step. My own self-hate is what caused people to flock to me that also had self-hatred. Once I started loving, the darknesses in me, started loving pieces about me that I was like, let me be fake, let me cover that up, let me act a little bit. I started fooling myself and I was bringing the fakery to me. But if you change that concept and perception of your own state of mind, you're able to, again, bring forth that energy to you. So that's that manifestation that I'm talking about. You can manifest anything that you want and get that to come back forth to you again. From the point of view of the analysis of daily problems, polarity is a very useful key, as it enables people to appreciate the true value of their conflicts or obstacles, something that I definitely found out about myself. The more that I realized that my negatives weren't negatives. People think negative is something evil, something not positive. It's all about the polarity and balances and energies. Once I realized that the hard times, or quote unquote what I thought was hard times, were actually successful points for me. They were life-changing points for me. Everything that I went through that I thought was tough aided in my success and my positives. It aided to my strength of self. So once you have that true understanding of not regretting things, there should be nothing in your life right now that you should regret. Everything that happens to you, you should love it. Good, bad, ugly, positive, all of that. You need to love the polarity that it brought to you. Because there's lessons in everything that you've gone through. When you understand that, you create a different space, a different energy, a different vortex, a different reality. Once you create that different reality, you can also manipulate and create a different reality for those around you. Because energies travel. There's energy bubbles in everyone. When you're next to somebody and their energy isn't upbeat, you can feel that. People can feel that back from you. So when you get into your mind frame, hi, Nika, Deshay, hey, love. So when you are, like I said, manifesting this energy to where it is no longer a hindrance to you, and you cancel out and you get rid of uh, lower vibrations that serve you no purpose, then you can move forward, manifesting everything that you wanted to manifest, as well as learning different magics and things that can help you in your conjuring of manifestations. Something else that this book says, without magnifying or understanding your obstacles, there's no way that you can manifest the positive polarities that you seek. You just as much as you can manifest positive, you can manifest negative things. But the thing with that is the backfire that you will get by manifesting pain or vengeance to others. You can manifest it, but the karma that you get back to balance out and polarities, like I said, of life, comes back to you. So it's always good to manifest things out of a positive place in your heart. Optimism, hope, love, goodness. By doing that, you get things that come back threefold. Um, Another thing that I wanted to point out, what's the name of the book? The book that I have right now is called The 7 Keys of Wisdom. Someone actually wrote this. Name is John Baines from up in New York. My Rose, got me this book or this copy. So that's where I'm getting this from. And then my book, just in case y'all want to know, again, it's called Affairs of the Heart. Let me see if I have a copy of it, because it also has good things in here, but it's poetry based. This is my book. Amber McLeod is my name. Yoni is the name that I go by. Here is my picture in the back. My little paragraph, I guess, author's bio here. So this book can be found on lulu.com. Please help support me. I self-published this book myself, and I think that you all would enjoy it. But yeah, the book that I'm reading from right now is called The 7 Keys of Wisdom. The poem that I did earlier is actually going to be in my second book, and the poems that I have that I've said on earlier videos, that is also on my YouTube, I have in that book. So, the karma don't touch. Yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you, love. So, the next thing I wanted to point out is, he that finds himself temporarily in a distressing situation, it is possible to change this gradually, polarizing towards the opposite. So whenever you're in a negative place, you need to pull to a positive place. You need to deal with things that brings peace to you, whether that is solitary bondage. I also has a poem called that. Solitary bondage, meaning being with yourself, meditating, yoga, talking with your ancestors, learning tarot, learning different magics, getting into crystals, incense spells, oil spells, candle rituals, earthing yourself, grounding yourself with nature, whether that be, moon bathing, which is what I'm doing tonight out here outside. I like to moon bathe to focus my inner cheese. You can do the same thing with the sunlight. It gives you that motivation. So when you're down, you feel down, it's good to get out of the house, move, motivate yourself. Don't think about all the negatives all the time. Otherwise, you're only going to manifest negativity. So whenever you're in that negative space, polarize yourself to the opposite end. That's how you can create a different type of manifestation for your reality. Yes, it's good that you do that, Deshay. When you change things, things change and alter for you. Until the other extreme is effectively reached, you keep pushing for the opposite that you need to bring forth in your life. The next thing, the time required for this operation will depend on the importance of what is desired, as everything has its gestation time in nature. Something of little importance will accomplish very quickly. So if you want to manifest things that is something simple, something small, you can manifest that quicker by, moving and moving into that opposite spectrum to bring it forth to you. Yes, moon bathing every night energizes. You're right, honey, because I be out here trying to get this moon on, and it gets me in my good space. And can't nobody tell me that when tomorrow I get here and I get some of that sun energy too, bouncing out that polarization. I'm giving you life, girl. Yes, the shade shook. I'm glad. I love to bring life to folks. But moon bathing, bouncing out those polarities, your body is a cell itself. This body that y'all see me in is not who I am. I am energy. Every human being is a being, a light being, your energy. Everything is energy, baby. You know what I'm saying? So by understanding that everything is energy, you know how to operate and fluctuate with the energy that comes to you. It's okay, Donna. So, when you get those people that they throwing them negative vibes, you got leeches out there. There's vampires and energy leeches that will drain the life out of you, taking all of your positive light. In order to get past that, yes, nature is definitely a vitamin in itself to give you that life, to balance you. When you getting these leeches that feed off of your energy, you gotta duck and dodge them. You know what I'm saying? Or duck and dodge them. One thing that I've learned from Buddha has the palm, right? This means no fear. Lotus, which representing that lotus posture when you meditate. No fear representing there is no such thing as fear. If you think fear, you manifest fear. You conjure fear. If you think doubt, you manifest doubt. You're creating doubt. So in order to counteract that, it's simple. Think positive, people. Thank you. Think positive. Change your mind state. You know what I'm saying? The more you change your perception, your reality and your perception of this reality changes. Everything. Once you think on a spectrum of just love, all you will gain back in return is love. When you see certain quote unquote failures, first of all, what is a failure? What is that? If things aren't what they seem and everything is energy based and polarities, failure is not something that's evil. It's not something that's negative. It's not something that hinders you. If you fall, you dust that shoulder, you dust off your pants, shake that mess off, learn from your mistakes, and you move forward. That's evolving. When you evolve, you no longer create the same tunnel and the same mistakes. People talk about 360 degrees of knowledge. There's actually 720 degrees of knowledge. 360 represents a circle. A circle is it keeps going, ever ending, I'd like to say. It's just repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, having no escape. 720 representing that vortex, because we're actually in a vortex. So it's moving like this, and you're creating a suction. So you're sucking in life and getting rid of old life. That's what you create with 720 degrees of knowledge, information, learning, rebirthing. Kind of like the phoenix. The phoenix, the swastika, the Ankh, Buddha, all of these different things, religion, symbols, simplify and say the exact same thing. Kundalini energy, up and down your spine, serpent, wisdom, knowledge, all of that is the same. Polarity is all that it's talking about. Exactly. No such thing as failure. No such thing as fear. No, all these little negatives that we think in our mind's eye that has been created for us and taught to us by people who actually was insecure and didn't know how to deal with the polarities themselves. We are picking up other people's attitudes. We're picking up other people's realization, other people's reality. Their reality don't have to be our reality. So that means you need to change your reality through perception. The main times you can find yourself is through your darkest hour. So through your darkest hour, through your loneliest times are your strongest of times. Remember that. Let me see. Where was I at in here? Something of little importance. Yeah, I said that you can accomplish very quickly. Things that have a heavier weight to it. A longer, bigger project that you want to create in yourself. Whether that be, you want to lose weight, you want to gain a substantial amount of success, whether you want to get rid of old things and bring forth new. That depends on all of you. You create that. If you want things to manifest quickly, you need to change your perception quickly. If you want things to, come forth to you, you have to have that patience. Be able to love that path of recollection, of acknowledging things. So you definitely have to keep all these things in mind. Let me see. What else did I want to discuss? The undesirable is slain by changing the polarity. Meditating on this will enable the student to reach great knowledge, which I talked about already. Your undesirables, or what you think that is an undesirable, undesirable to you, is actually what will benefit you. When we get that concept and understanding, again, we can manifest. So that is pretty much what I wanted to talk about and discuss tonight. Is just understanding that in itself. When we better understand that part about a part of ourselves, getting tongue-tied, y'all. When we better understand that piece of ourselves, accepting the darknesses of ourselves, not worried about what other people think about us. At one point in time, I wouldn't have walked out the house with these dots, y'all. But I realized who I was. I realized who I am. Nobody can dictate who I am. This is art, portraying to others who I am. Warrior. I'm a warrior in the inside. I can portray it to you. My light stands and speaks for me. So by it standing and speaking for me, everything that I do it for a reason. Whether the next person acknowledges it or not is not my problem. It shouldn't be yours. You know what I'm saying? You the worst has conquered queen. Yes. So by standing, like I said, standing your ground, you don't have to be cutthroat. We ain't got to be vile. We ain't got to be vain. We ain't got to be, talking outside our neck, being, with evil intent or meanness or, not caring about the next person. You ain't got to worry about all that. You ain't got to be like that. You know what I'm saying? You can shed your light. You can be you. You can stand grounded without having to be slick mouth. You kill people with kindness. You can't kill and change, transgress, evolve off of evil intent, negative energy, low vibration. So by picking yourself up, loving the next man regardless of what they say. The Christians say turn the other cheek. Now, I could turn the other cheek, but I ain't got to be no fool. That means I can do what I need to do and handle the business I need to handle. I will turn my cheek. You're not about to slap me with the bullshit, but I will turn my other cheek, because I'm like, I ain't got time for that. The same thing as Buddha say with the palm. No fear. I can turn my other cheek because I ain't got time for your foolishness. I'm going to turn this cheek because I ain't got time for your foolishness. You can talk that yik-yak from there, but I'm going to let you talk to yourself. Cancel out what does not serve you. No purpose. Get rid of it, and you're able to manifest exactly what you want to manifest in this world. Remember that. That's all that I wanted to discuss tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed my live feed. If you didn't catch the entirety of this video, please go back and rewatch it, play it, and whatever. I do tarot readings. I'm thinking about tomorrow. Today I did tarot readings in my inbox. But the next time, I usually charge my tarot readings. They're like however many minutes. 5 minutes is $5. $10 for 15 minutes. And the more that I'm with someone session-wise, the higher the price gets. I usually do like $50 for an hour of a tarot reading, but that's like more in-depth readings. Talking about like future goals or things that you need to take out. Like, it's like advice giving. So I'm giving advice and giving your tarot reading and telling you certain things that you can do to change is what all incorporates in an hour reading. Little readings, like 5-10 minute readings, I only do like little quick readings. I also do pendulum scrying, yes or no answers. I'm thinking about doing that tomorrow. May or may not. I'll post it on my Facebook on, if I want to do it or not. Because I also have homework. I'm working on my second degree, y'all. So, I might do pendulum scrying. Y'all look up for it on my Facebook. If I post up there that I'm doing it, then by all means, bring your questions to me. Only one question, though, y'all, because it takes a lot of energy to scry, tarot reading, and all that. I also do natal chart or birth charts. It tells you where the planets were around the time of your birth. It lets me know who you are as an individualized spirit. So it tells me, all of the energies that surround different parts and fractions of your life, whether it's finances, love, your self-consciousness, what you hide from the outside of the world, what you need to deal with, the karma that you brought into this world. I do birth charts to go into depth of that with that individual person. So if you're looking for birth charts, tarot reading, pendulum scrying, inbox me and I will be sure to do that. Depending on what you're looking for, depends on the price of the reading or the session. But I'm definitely good at what I do. I always do my singing bowl before I do my readings. I also, I could either, I do it through Messenger, I can do it over FaceTime, whatever it may be, whatever you're comfortable with, and I can do that for you, and, just inbox me if you have questions. I have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, share. All of my videos that I've talked about from day one are all on my YouTube channel. I have Twitter and Instagram, so please follow me on all of them. Support me, and I would greatly appreciate it. Those who have came in late or a little later, like I said earlier, go back and watch the video. There's definitely some good things in there that is needed for those who definitely is searching. I love you all. Hi, how you doing? Sarah. I had to go to your last name, love. Yeah, so I'm going to end with that tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed this video tonight. Mwah, mwah. Love you all. Please ground yourselves. Don't fall into the slum of everyday life. I'm going to be having other videos. Stay tuned to other videos. I'll post them up when I'm going to do them. And, I hope you all join me. Love you all. Ashe. Ubuntu. Mwah. Much love, y'all.